looking forward, you inherit a roster full of veterans, full of guys who are kind of in win now mode. As you've been thinking about next season already, I want to take you into next season. What stands out to you about this roster as a strength, and what do you look at it as maybe a key thing to get this offseason?
Yeah, I think bullpen is something that it's funny coming from college. Every pitcher wants to be a starting pitcher, but anyone who knows the game of baseball, bullpen is crucial. There's several closers here that, probably it doesn't go as well as it does in the postseason here without that final guy finishing. But there's also a variety of guys too, either on those teams or winning teams, that just fill a role in the bullpen. And so I think an area everyone wants to, feel good about or, have full confidence in is just the pitching staff from top to bottom. But again, you win or lose as a team. So we'll look at any area too, position player wise, that can improve. But with that said, the position player group is pretty dang good right now, and obviously there's some stars on the pitching staff as well.
Obviously, Drew Gilbert becomes a national story while he was here the last 2 months, but this was really a group that was close-knit throughout, even before that, and I think we saw it mostly when Drew was here. What have you thought, just maybe in conversations, you said some players had reached out, about the core and maybe the chemistry they have already and the energy they have already?
Yeah, I think the guys all have a high level of care and emotion, and it sounds like even more so now that I've been in the building, it was a very close-knit team, and those other guys are playing with just as much emotion. They just don't show it the way Drew does. And sometimes if a guy is holding on to what he wants to do or his passion for the game, and you see a guy like Drew be so outward with it, it's a good reminder or an encouragement to be who you are and let that shine through. But I think as a whole, the entire group was playing the way Drew was. They wanted to win. It just didn't click quite as well as it maybe could have, or they wanted it to. But I think one key to unlocking that is having that energy and that passion every single day.
I talked to Drew last week, and he said one reason he went to Tennessee was you and your coaches told him, you get what you earn. You don't come in here and be the Friday night guy or the center fielder. How do you hold big leaguers accountable, and maybe guys who have been doing this for 10, 12 years or all-star, Cy Young type guys?
I think a lot of it is educating them on the front end for what you're looking for, what expectations are, and how communication will go back and forth so that there's no surprises. Someone that's been doing something for so long and doing it well doesn't want to be surprised, especially if it's coming from a negative side of things. So I think the communication and call it education or just being informative on the front end is so key, so that when things happen in the heat of the moment, we talked about Game 7, everybody's in a position to remain poised and understand that everyone is doing everything in the interest of the team having success.